Hi everybody, welcome to today's tap class. This is week 7 of our classes that we've been doing online, which is mad to think that we've done so many really. You may notice that I'm in a different location. My parents live in France, so we have escaped here for the summer, and I have spent some time to find the most suitable room. This one has got wooden floor, so it's the best option. I did try it in a bigger room that we've got, which is like it's a bigger space really. It's not a room that's got concrete floor, but it was ruining my tap shoes. So hopefully this would work. I've definitely got enough room to be able to demonstrate, so you should be able to see what's happening. So we're going to do our warm-up exercises. We're going to do our swings. We're going to do our shuffles. We're going to recap, and we're going to look again at the time steps. And I want to try and break them down a bit more for you, and also give you a variation, so you've got a couple of ends of the level there to try. Then we're going to remember our Waterloo dance and add a little bit more on. So I hope everybody's okay. Please do comment and let me know if you're watching. I shall type back a reply as I will be there with you. Let's get started. Freestyle at the beginning is absolutely welcome. We're going to start swinging our arms, 2 arms together. Ready? Here we go. Right arm goes back. 2 arms. So this is really to warm up those joints. Left arm goes back. 2 arms. Right arm goes back. Left arm back. 2. Right arm. Flex right foot. Flex. Point. Flex. Point. Circle out. Hi, buddy. And flex. Point. Flex. Point. Circle out. Good. Again, right there. This time you're going to circle in. Good. Same on the left. Circle in. 3 slow taps. Right. Let's have our arms in opposition. Side. Other side. Arm one. Remember, it's coming from the ankle, not the whole leg. Oh, here comes Brillo. 1 again. Brillo, we're going to do 7 quick taps. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and change. Brillo, right out the way. This is Brillo. You okay? On 3, 1, 2, 3. On 1. Good. This is Brillo, everybody. Okay, shuffles. So there we go.
Clap your hands now.
1, 2, 3, and close. To the
Clap
side.
your hands now.
Other side. On 1.
Unreroute the rivers. Let the damn water beat. There's some people down the way that's thirsty, so let the liquid spirit free.
Front side front.
The people are thirsty because a man's unnatural hand.
Other leg.
Watch what happens when the people catch wind, when the water hit the bank of that hard dry land. Liquid spirit. Liquid spirit. Liquid spirit.
Front side front.
Liquid spirit.
Shuffle.
Clap your hands now.
Shuffle. To the side.
Down and take a drink and feel your water change.
Other side.
Sit down and take a drink and feel your water
Shuffle.
change.
Opposite.
Liquid spirit.
Step.
Clap your
Step.
hands now. Liquid spirit.
To the side.
Liquid spirit. Clap your hands now. Liquid spirit.
From the beginning. And onward.
Get ready for the wave. It might strike like a final
And
flood.
close.
People haven't drank in so long. The water won't even
To the
make
side.
mud. After it comes, it might come with a steady flow. Grab the roots of the tree down by the river. Dip your cup when your spirit's low.
Onward.
Liquid spirit. Liquid spirit.
Front side front.
Liquid spirit.
Other leg.
Liquid spirit.
Double time. Three to
Clap
the
your
front.
hands now.
One.
Get down and take a drink and feel your water change. Clap your hands. Get down and take a drink and feel your water change.
Shuffle.
Get down and take a drink and feel your water change. Clap your hands. Get down and take a drink and feel your water change. Get down and take a drink and feel your water change. Your hands. Get down and take a drink and feel your water change.
Shuffle. Opposite.
Get down and take a drink and feel your water change. Clap your hands. Get down and take a drink. So let the liquid spirit spirit.
Good. So you can't see all of them, but I actually have 3 dogs in the room with me. This is Brillo. This is my mum and dad's dog, Brillo. Good girl, darling. So she's a French dog. And then Buddy, who you know, is on that. You can just see Buddy poking out here. And then there's also Annie, who's slightly out of shot, who's actually a Cypriot dog. All nationalities of dog in the house. This is their room that they like to hang out because it's one of the coolest rooms in the house. So they're just joining the tap party. Have a drink if you need to. I'm sure it's equally as warm there as it is here. Okay, so our time steps. Now, time steps are a tricky tap step. And so if you are relatively new to tap, don't be kind of put off by a time step. It is just one of those steps that it takes a while to master, but then once you've mastered it, it's like something that gets thrown into routines all the time. It's just one of those steps that people will say, oh, okay, let's just do a time step now. And people just, it's a recognisable step. As I said, there are different variations. So last week we looked at a single time step, both a stamp and a shuffle. So first of all, let's recap that and let's look at how we might break them down. So I am going to face you to start with, and then I will face the other way as well. So we're going to start with the stamp single. So what I want you to think about first of all is your front leg is the leg that's going to do the work. Your back leg is going to take that is taking the weight. And you're going to stamp. Sorry, Brillo, just made the dogs jump. As you stamp, you are softening your back leg. So you're not standing upright here. There's a definite bend of that leg. So from this bend of the leg, you can hop onto your back leg. Now, a hop, everybody knows what a hop is, but do we ever describe it? So a hop is a jump from one leg to the same leg. Stamp, hop. A spring is a jump from one leg to the other, so you change legs. And that's when you're also slightly changing direction. Oh, there's Annie's tail you just saw. The 3 dogs are now on the floor in front of me. So, stamp, hop, spring. Okay, let's do that much again. Stamp, hop, spring. Okay, let me just face this way so I can do it with you again. So still with the right leg. Stamp, hop, spring. I did a big spring there. You don't need to spring that far. Stamp, hop, spring. You're changing legs. Okay, that is the first half of a time step. The next bit, And at times it's all about where your weight is. So let's just think about that. Stamp. The weight is probably 60% back leg, 40% front leg. Maybe even it starts off there and then you're transferring the weight back onto this leg so you can hop one leg to the same leg, then you spring one leg to the other step. We then do a tap, step, drop. Tap, step, drop. Again. Tap, step, drop. Let me face the same way as you. So we've gone right leg stamp, hop, spring. It's your left leg that's going tap, step, drop. And you're dropping the weight all on that back leg. Again. Tap, step, drop. Tap, step, drop. Tap, step, drop. Just do that bit with me a few times with your left leg. Tap, step, drop. Tap, step, drop. Tap, step, drop. It's like all the weight is on that right leg. Can you still see me? Yeah, I'm going out of shot. So again, stamp, hop, spring, tap, step, drop. Now, that tap, step, drop is one that you can practice. And if you've been to a class with me before when we're actually in a studio, quite often I have us doing this step over and over and over again. So if you want to go over the time step, break it down to those two halves. Stamp, hop, spring. Do that again. Stamp, hop, spring. And then the same with the tap, step, drop. Tap, step, drop. And depending, it doesn't matter which side you are on. You can think about it as back leg and front leg. It's always the front leg that's doing the action. So if I just face you and show you what I mean by that. Stamp, front leg. Hop, it's your front leg. On your spring, you change. It's your front leg. Or the front leg. Yeah? So left or right, it's always the front leg. And if you're someone who really struggles with left and right, as a lot of us do, you can often think front and back, or is it, because quite often as you change around, it still applies. So I can talk to you about front leg and back leg. And in this case, it's all the front leg that's doing the action. And the drop, the weight goes onto the back leg at the very end, but you want your front leg ready to do the next stamp. Let's look at it on the left. Stamp, hop, the weight is on the back leg, but your action leg is up. Spring, change it so you've got your other leg, your front leg here. Tap, step, drop. Tap, step, drop. Let me face the same way as you from the left side. Stamp, hop, spring, tap, step, drop. Let's do tap, step, drop with that right leg a few times. Tap, step, drop. Tap, step, drop. Tap, step, drop. Tap, step. It's like you've got a bit of a limp on this back leg. Okay, so we're going to do right side, right break. What does a right break mean, I hear you say? Stamp, hop, spring, tap, step, drop, stamp. Hop, spring, tap, step, drop. Stamp, hop, we spring, but to face the front. And then you do shuffle, step, shuffle, ball, change. So 2 shuffle steps and 1 shuffle ball change. And then you would stamp with that left leg over to the other side. Let me do the same thing but facing this way. Stamp. Hop, spring, tap, step, drop, stamp. Hop, spring, tap, step, drop, stamp. Hop, spring, shuffle, step, shuffle, ball, change. Let's try that on the left. Stamp. Hop, spring, tap, step, drop, stamp. Hop, spring, tap, step, drop, stamp. Hop, spring, shuffle, step, shuffle, ball, change. Okay, so let's try stamp, and this is a single time step. So it's the basic version of the time step. Let's try single, right, left break, left, right break with the music. I've got the music here, so I can just do it off my phone because I'm being very clever. the other variation that we did last week was instead of a stamp, we did a shuffle. So the time step in its entirety is almost exactly the same. The only difference is that instead of a stamp, we do a shuffle. So instead of stamp, hop, we do shuffle, hop, spring. Don't think about it too much. Let's just go for it. Right, left break, left, right break, shuffle, single time step. Here we go.
And we fly just like birds of a feather.
Ready? 6,
I want to
5,
know
6, 7, shuffle, hop.
all of the people around the city. Can they be that close? Just let me state for the record, we're giving love in a family dose. We are family.
Let's do that one again. Ready? 5, 6, 7, shuffle, hop.
We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Sing it to me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family.
Good. Hopefully, trust me, when I say this to you, that it will get easier the more you practice a step. I know, especially if you're new to this, you might be thinking, yeah, whatever, Katey. But honestly, any of my tappers that have tapped with me for a long time, hopefully will testify that they also thought I was mad when I said this at the very beginning. But honestly, that the more that they do the steps, the easier that they become, and the quicker they can then pick stuff up, the more you do it. And so much of it is about where your weight is. So if you don't shift your weight in time, and it's anticipating the movement sometime, and that's the thing with the time step, it's so quick, you have to anticipate, your weight drops to anticipate the next weight, and that really what helps. Okay, now, if you want to just keep practicing a single time step, absolutely fine. I'm going to just show you the difference between a single and a double now, and we're going to do some double time steps, but you can, this isn't like a double pirouette, like I don't know if anyone thinks about in ballet terms when you do like a single turn and then a double turn. It's not that you are putting double the amount of steps into this at all. The only difference in a single and a double is instead of a spring, you do a tap spring. That is it. That is the only difference. And most of you will probably agree with me that actually you prefer doing a double to a single. Because if anything, if you've been tap dancing for a while, a single feels like you have to hold back because you want to add that tap spring in there, and I'm asking you to hold back on that and just do a spring. So a double for me is like, okay, this is like a normal, happy time step. And a single you have to hold back slightly. So the only difference is instead of a spring, you do a tap spring. So let's look at what I mean by that. So let's get back to our stamp. So stamp, hop, exactly the same. Now on a single, we spring, yeah? But on a double, instead of a spring, you're going to do a tap spring. So just listen for a second to the difference. So single, double, okay? Now a tap spring is a travelling step. So we haven't done loads of tap springs in these online classes because we can't travel very far. But basically, as you're springing, you're striking the floor and then you're landing on the foot. The same as when we've done like toe heel and then tap step heel, in that you strike the floor with half a shuffle before you put your foot down. This is a strike the floor and then spring onto it. So you stamp, hop, tap, spring, tap, step, drop is exactly the same. So the only difference is instead of a spring, you do a tap spring. Okay? So we are going to do stamp double, right, left break, shuffle double, right, left break. And we're just going to go for it and put the two together. So we are now not thinking about singles, although if you would rather just do the version that you've practiced so far, it fits exactly the same. Just do a spring instead of a tap spring. But for those of you that want to just stretch that challenge just a little bit more, you're going to do a double. So you're going to do a tap spring instead of a spring. So we're going to do stamp double, right, left break, left, right break, shuffle double, right, left break, left, right break. All right? don't overthink it. Follow me. I'm going to face the same way as you, so it should be easier to copy along. Here we go. Ready? Right leg first, stamp double, tap sprint. 6, 7, 8, tap sprint, stamp double, tap sprint, tap sprint. Shuffle.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family.
Good. Okay. We're going to do a little challenge now. We're going to do stamp single, right, left break, left, right break, stamp double, right, left break, left, right break. So stamp single and then stamp double. Then we're going to do shuffle single and then shuffle double. Each one is right, left break, right break, then change. Okay? So if you want to just keep doing singles the whole way through, just use it as a chance to practice your singles, absolutely fine. Equally, if you just want to stamp each one, absolutely fine. Just use that rhythm. And don't forget you start the action on the 8 of the count before. If you've been tapping with me for a while, I want you to really differentiate between these singles and the doubles. You should be able to hear the difference between your single and your double. So stamp single, right, left break, stamp double, right, left break, Same with the shuffles. Once more through, and then we'll stop that for now.
I got all my sisters with me.
Start with the right leg, stamp single. Are you ready? 5, 6, 7, stamp single.
Everyone can see we're together as we walk on by, and we fly just like birds of a feather. I won't tell no
Stamp double.
all of the people around the city. Can they be that close? Just let me stay for the record. We're giving love in a family dose.
Shuffle single.
We
Stop,
are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing.
shuffle double, tap sprint.
Family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Living life is fun, and we just begun to get our share.
Okay, have a sip of something, and then we'll start thinking about our dance.
Napoleon did surrender. Oh yeah, and I have met my destiny in quite a similar way. The history book on the shelf is always repeating itself. Waterloo, I was defeated, you are the wrong. Waterloo, promise to love me forevermore. Waterloo, couldn't escape if I wanted to. Waterloo.
Okay, so that's about as far as we got with the music last week. I just played the music just to give you a chance to grab a sip of something to drink. Now, I would like to go through everything we did last week because we actually went through quite a lot of material in a very short space of time. So I would like to break the whole thing down and recap over it all. But first, I'm going to do what I quite often do in class, send everyone into a panic by just saying, let's go for it. And the purpose of this is that sometimes your body will remember things and you might not realise that you've remembered them. And if you overthink things, it just doesn't work. So I'm going to press play from the beginning. We're just going to go through it together. It will probably highlight to you the bits that didn't sink in from last week as well as the bits that did. And then I will go through it from the beginning and break it down before we add anything new on. Okay? Here we go. That you're all thinking, yes, I've totally got it all. Realistically, there's probably going to be bits of it that you think, yes, I've got, and there's bits of it you want to go over. So let's start from the beginning. We have our feet together, and you just let your hip go, and then you bring your head up. Yeah? So, and that's quite free, really. It's just a bit of an introduction. But if you are popping one knee, it's your right knee forward. Do you know, I feel like I've taught so many different routines now over the last few months online. My brain just starts to think, is this the right one? Is this what we're doing with this? This week's Dance Together class, which is tomorrow night, I'm doing another ABBA song. I'm doing Mamma Mia, so it should be loads of fun. So hopefully all of you will tune in for that. Not a tap dance, it's just a cheesy ABBA Mamma Mia fun dance. Okay, so heads down, the hip goes, everything's going, shoulders going, your head is coming up. We step together to the right first, and you're stepping and tapping and stepping and tapping and stepping and tapping and stepping and tapping. And of course tapping has a completely different meaning when you're actually in a tap class, but what I just mean is you're resting the ball of your foot next to it. So it's not your whole foot going down, just the ball of your foot. Arms on the first two, you're just swinging, so your right arm is here, left arm, then you tap and tap. Arms come down as we do tap, step, ball change, tap, step, ball change, pick up, in. So, and this could be a click if you want actually. You could step, click, step, clap, step, clap. So this next step, your right leg is doing a tap, step, ball change. It's like a gallop going forward. Then you transfer the weight and the other leg goes tap, step, ball change. And your basic version going back is just back, together. And don't be discouraged by the term basic. I don't mean that in any derogative way. It's just thinking about this most simplistic version. And I say this to all of my tappers. Start with the basic, simplistic version. Once you get that in your body, it's really easy to layer it up. If you try sometimes to start with the most complex version, you can't fit all the steps in. Whereas if you just step it out, and then your body will step it out for you, and then you can start to layer that up by adding the additional steps, the arms, the head, the focus, the jazz hands, the glitter, the wigs, the feather boas, the lot. Okay, so that bit coming forwards goes tap, step, ball change, tap, step, ball change, back. Layering that step back is you step back on that right leg, hinge that left leg to pick up, together. I realised that last week I added quite a lot of arms straight away. I was getting excited. Also, I had a nightmare recording last week in that the version that I put out, I think was the third version I recorded, because the first version didn't record with any sound. Then the second version, I think the memory card ended or something, so it was the third version. So I think by the time I got to teach it that third time, I'd like layered up all these arms and all sorts. But anyway, you don't have to worry about the arms unless you want to, but I will recap what they are. So, step and click, step and clap, step and clap. As you come forward, your arms are going to drop down before you do so that they can travel with you. And then go down as you go back. Yeah? So they're going forward and down. Okay, let's try that beginning bit with the music. Okay, good. Next part of the step, we're going to travel to your left actually, but it's your right leg that steps over first. So the step is going in front and behind and in front and pick up and. Yeah? I'm not sure you can see my, no, wrong leg. Don't know if that actually helps, maybe it does. Just when I got into a dark corner. So you go front and back and front and pick up and left, back. You don't do an and step on the second side. I talked about this last week, I'm going to reiterate it. Take your standing leg with you so you twist with yourself as you go. Or you'll twist your joints and we don't want that. Okay, again, if you want to slightly simplify this, instead of pick-ups back, you can just do a step back. So you can go front and back and front and back, back and front and back and front and back, back. Yeah? Just take the pick-up out and do a step. Absolutely fine. Arms. In, and down. In, and down. They're coming in as you cross and in and go down and in and down. Now, I've also thrown in a head for good measure. That goes look towards, look away, look towards, look front, towards, away, towards. And by towards and away, I mean towards the direction or away from the direction of travel. So if you're travelling to the left, you're looking to the left, to the right, to the left, and right, and left, and right. And remember, you're always mirroring me, and I am saying what you are doing. I am giving you the right side. Okay. In fact, let's just add the next little bit on, because then we have got a drag, together, drag, together. Legs, you step onto your left leg, drag your right leg, but don't put it down, just tap it down to here, and then step onto that right leg and bring your left leg to it. So it goes side and back and woo before we go into the chorus. Okay? Let's go from the beginning, adding this bit on up to the chorus. How are we doing for time? Good. We've got about 10 minutes to go. tap springs. There's me saying in the time steps earlier we've not done many tap springs. Here is a tap spring. So left leg first. A left, a right, left out and a in. Hold 1, a 2, 3 out and a in. We do 3, 1 and a in. And then we'll change with the left leg in. Okay, again, because I want to add this middle step in, and I'm running out of time. Surprise, surprise. So you go, a 1, a 2, a 3 and a in. A 1, a 2, a 3 and a in. A 1 and a in, a 1 and a in, a 1 and a in. We'll change in. If you want a simplified version of this, you can just spring. Absolutely fine. Let's just try that with the music. It happens twice, but there is a slight pause in between. Good just to spend time consolidating some of these steps. Okay, so you've just gone, we'll change in the first time. Your right leg is going to brush front, cross, front, back. And you're going to bounce with it. So you're going to bounce front, back, front, change legs. Left leg, front, cross, front, change legs. So it's a shuffle that crosses over and back again. But in between each swing of the leg, you've got a little bounce of the other leg. Depending on how energetic you're feeling and how hot it is on Wednesday, you can either jump it or you can just literally have a little heel bounce. You can, it's one of those steps that although I'm adding, this is one of those times when I would say it will actually help you to add that heel in than do it statically. It's much harder work, whereas the bounce kind of just helps throw that leg, it helps you get into the step. I think people will agree with me if you've done this step before that actually the more you move the better. So right leg goes brush, cross, brush, change, left, cross, back, change. You're going to do a drag to that back right diagonal, step, step, drag, step, drag, step, because you're then going to go repeat. Let's just go as far as that. So the first one of those into the new swingy step, into the second tap spring, tap spring, tap spring, out and in.
It's always repeating itself.
The second time you do the brush, there's a break in it where we go whoa, 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 and then we repeat. So it goes the second time through, right, cross, back, change. Hi, buddy. You drag to the right, and then you step, step, and then you go whoa, 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 and then you brush, start again from this bit, cross, back, cross, back, cross, drag, step, step, drag, step, step this time. So basically normally you do it like twice the second time through, but instead you do one drag, then you go whoa, 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 and then you start again. Hi, buddy. Then you're going to go step. We're on your right together, left together, right together, out. Click, click, clap, down. Just that last bit. Step, together, step, clap, out. Arms as well. Tap, spring, out and in. Tap, spring, out and in. Leave your head there. Just let your arms swing on this bit. I want to see your big diagonal line. So your back arm is nice and high. And then this repeats. And then on the whoa, 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 we've got arms. And then we've got click, click, clap, down. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of information to take on board. Let's go from the chorus to the end a couple of times through and then all the way through. Where's the music gone? Here. class this week. And next week we will carry on with this same dance for the third week, and we will find a bit of a resolution, so we'll add a little bit more on. Don't forget to go back over, rewind any sections you need to go over. Please also send me any questions. If you've got any questions that I've not answered whilst going through things, I'm more than happy to answer things throughout the week, so please do give me a shout. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, everybody. Don't forget tomorrow's Thursday night 6 o'clock class is another ABBA song. We're doing Mamma Mia, and if you haven't done last week's yet, it's still up there, and that's Thriller. So 2 fun routines, and I think the following week I'm going to do Flash Dance. So it's just like cheese and jazz hands all around. Have a lovely Wednesday, everybody. Bye.